here with you, you know. I don't know what the freak happened, y'all. You know what I mean? But what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy Jay Willie Silly, man. AKA Mr. Take It Easy. But you end up life easy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram, Twitch, in the description down below. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. And one thing I will say, whatever your name is, Josh, you know what I mean? Josh, better be a good video, man. But it should be a good video. You know, I've seen plenty of people, you know, request this video, even on my old channel, the Junko Furuta case, bro. I don't know. And y'all know I reacted to a lot of, you know what I mean? It be saying you watching already. I don't know, bro. It stay doing that, you know what I mean? But what I be doing a lot what I be doing, you know what I'm saying? I really I told y'all, thumbnail and title captures me. Everybody that I'm subscribed to, I literally react to. You know, I'm not really to subscribe to people that I just sit down and watch. I don't really watch YouTube like that, honestly, you know what I'm saying, unless I'm reacting to video. But what the frick I was talking about? I reacted to a lot of cases. I reacted to a lot of crazy cases. You know what I mean? So honestly, I don't feel like this case will be crazy, like crazy, because I ain't gonna lie. You know, if you want to see some real crazy-ish, bro, true crime playlist section, bro, true story playlist section. So, you know, I feel like I will be shocked, but I'm not finna be like, oh, shoot. You know what I mean? You said it's going to be my craziest one, I promise. Yeah, I can tell you're new. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep it real with you, bro. You're definitely new. I've reacted to too many crazy cases. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's crazy. I just reacted to too much crazy.
One of the most common suggestions to make a video about, and one of the most common questions on Q&As that I get, is what is the most horrific case I've ever heard of? It's a case that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of by now, but I'm not sure if you've ever heard about it in complete, gruesome detail.
Was that a hair? Was that a head I just seen?
This is the story of Junko Furuta, widely considered to be one of the worst crimes ever committed in human history. So for the love of God, please don't watch this if you're sensitive to extreme violence, especially of the sexual variety. Trust me. Junko Furuta was a young woman who was born in Misato in the Saitama prefecture of Japan.
Dang, she the one that died, bro? There's always a pretty woman getting done dirtiest, man. That's why I be trying to tell y'all women, bro, be safe out here, bro. You know what I mean? Really, bro. That's why I be saying when I have a daughter, bro, I'm not going to play none of that ish, bro. You know what I mean? Junk sad, man.
That was a young woman who was born in Misato in the Saitama prefecture of Japan. Her family consisted of a mother, father, an older brother, and a younger brother. She attended high school at a school in Saitama while working part-time at a plastic molding factory after school. She was saving up for a big graduation trip she was planning. She was all set up to start working at an electronics store after she graduated. She was fairly popular and well-liked by her classmates. She had great grades and was hardly ever absent. She was active, attractive, and attracted a lot of attention, which made some people jealous. She didn't drink, didn't smoke, and definitely never touched any drugs. This made her seem very lame in the eyes of the thugs around the school, the Yakuza wannabes. One of the boys in this group was named Hiroshi Miyano. He actually developed a bit of a crush on her and wanted to get physical with her. He proposed this and she refused. Hiroshi was a pretty big bully in this school, one of the only ones actually involved with the younger members of the Yakuza at the time. Usually, nobody dared defy him. He couldn't believe that Junko actually had the gall to turn him down.
Freak, this nigga supposed to be the Debo or freaking, you know, nigga supposed to be Debo? You know what I mean? That nigga look demonic. That little nigga right there looked like a Japanese demon. You know what I mean? Look at this nigga face. You feel me? But nah, though, man. You know what I'm saying, man. Y'all dudes strange, man. Y'all some strange dudes, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Get rejected. What you finna do? You finna kill her, man, because she rejected you, bro? You know what I'm saying? What you supposed to be like a bully or something? See, one thing about America, we don't play about bullies. Bullies get bullied in them. You come down here in America and try to bully some people. Try to act like Debo down here. We got something for you, Japanese demon.
did not take this well at all. He couldn't believe that anyone would ever reject him. He took it as a complete and total insult.
What is this nigga?
He got together with a few of his wannabe Yakuza buddies and they all hatched a plan to get revenge on Junko. They would get another one of their friends to attack Junko, and then Hiroshi would come to the rescue. After he won a bit of her trust, they could take her wherever.
So you plan the attack just to I'm hearing this right. You planned, you know what I mean, an attack on a girl just to get her to like you so you can look like a hero?
On Junko. They would get another one of their friends to attack Junko, and then Hiroshi would come to the rescue. After he won a bit of her trust, they could take her wherever they wanted. On November 25th of 1988, Junko was riding her bike home from her part-time job when an unknown boy attacked her and knocked her off of her bike. The boy who liked her, Hiroshi Miyano, was conveniently across the street while the whole thing happened. He came to Junko's aid and scared off the random boy. He then offered to escort her home. Everything seemed to be going as planned. While Junko didn't actually trust him, it seemed better than the alternative of possibly being attacked again. She didn't have any idea that Hiroshi harbored any sort of hatred towards her. She wouldn't have imagined that he would be planning anything like this. Hiroshi took Junko into an abandoned warehouse and revealed his Yakuza connections to her. He then took his time raping her over and over. Then he took her to a hotel. In the hotel, he called his friends, Joe Ogura and Yasushi Watanabe. From then on, he and his 3 friends took turns assaulting her. Unfortunately, this was not their first time doing this, as they had just recently done it to another girl in the past few weeks. They decided that they were having far too much fun to just set her free again. There was also the possibility that she would call the cops and tell them what happened, and they couldn't have that. The next morning, Hiroshi took Junko to a nearby park, where Joe, Yasushi, and a 4th boy, Nobuharu Minato, were waiting. They learned Junko's address and used it to threaten her, telling her that they would kill her entire family if she tried to get away. The 4 teenage boys then took her back to Minato's parents' home, where they continued to assault her. This is where, for 42 more days, she would be held prisoner. On the 3rd day that Junko was missing...
All because of freaking no, bro? All because she said freaking no, man. Sick people in this world, man. You know what I mean? Honestly, man. You know what I mean? Even real, that's somebody's daughter right there.
Held prisoner. On the 3rd day that Junko was missing, her parents were dealing with the police, trying to get her found. Knowing this would happen, the captors made her call her parents and tell them that she had run away and was staying with a friend, safe and sound. She was forced to ask her mom to stop the investigation. They held Junko captive in the bedroom, forcing her to pose as one of the boys' girlfriend. It didn't take long for the parents to realize that this was a lie. Eventually, they dropped the whole girlfriend act altogether, as it was very clear that they weren't going to get in any trouble. Immediately after arriving at the home, the boys forced Junko into becoming their toy. They beat her relentlessly and raped her countless times a day, often taking turns. They were proud of what they were doing, regularly boasting to their friends that they had a woman trapped and ready for their personal use. They invited a load of their friends to come over and have their way with her.
Hey, bro.
In the first few days...
The freak, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? Golly, my nigga. 1, 2, 3, 4. You already doing what you doing to the girl, and then you invite some more niggas to do it to the girl? But yeah, that's effed up right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what the freak these folks on, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Yeah, these some different type of niggas here. I ain't never heard no ish like this. I'm gonna keep it. What the freak?
They invited a load of their
all
friends.
Because she said no, chat. All because she said no. Y'all, can y'all blame the women for being scared, bro? You know what I'm saying? Can y'all blame them? After hearing this case, every woman should be scared of men. Every woman. You know what I mean? I can't blame y'all. I don't be scared of every man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie. When it come to y'all women, bro, I heard y'all, you know what I mean? I heard some crazy cases about y'all too. You know what I mean? I wasn't scared of women, so I ain't trying to, yeah. I mean, I do that. You know what I'm saying? I heard some crazy women, so I read this is some crazy mother effers. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This junk crazy right here, man. They talking about a toy. You know how sick you gotta be to look at a woman like she a toy, bro? Like she's a toy? And then you bragging about it?
Friends to come over and have their way with her. In the first few days, at least 30 of them raped her, and at least 100 knew of her imprisonment. Even women were invited to come see the spectacle, with a young girl even being invited to come over and see the prisoner, who then took a pen and doodled on her face.
What?
By the day 7 mark, Junko had been already completely stripped of all of her humanity. She was forced to be naked at all times and was constantly beaten and humiliated. They would shove her into the freezer for hours when they were bored with her, only pulling her out when they wanted to assault her again. Nobuharu Minato...
That's why I say jealousy, bro. Jealousy. They really jealous of her, bro. Jealousy. Bro, jealous. But this girl ain't did nothing to nobody. The way they treating this girl, bro, you think she did some of the most gruesomest things, bro. You think that she killed all these folks' family, man. You think she just was gruesome. This girl ain't did nothing to nobody. All she did was reject the nigga, bro. You know what I mean? She didn't smoke. She didn't drink. She looked like she was very pretty. Jealousy, bro. You got people that would do this to you because they jealous of you, bro. That's exactly, man. And she ain't hanging around these folks. She knew none of these folks, man. You know what I mean? She was just unaware, man.
Only pulling her out when they wanted to assault her again. Nobuharu Minato's brother and parents were living in the same house that she was being held in. His brother did nothing aside from informing him that Junko might die at this rate. His parents were afraid to intervene as they had seen Nobuharu's violent nature firsthand.
Parents knew it?
They also knew of his association with the Yakuza and feared of their possible retaliation.
Yakuza? You talking about the mafia?
Also knew of his association with the Yakuza and feared of their possible retaliation.
They got freaking...
And most disgustingly, they worried about losing their good reputation in the community.
Ties to the mafia?
After about 10 days of this torture, Junko's body was already starting to fail her. Because of the ongoing, endless beatings, so much blood had accumulated in her sinuses that she could no longer breathe through her nose. Her digestive system was also beginning to refuse food and water. If she attempted to eat or drink anything, she would instantly vomit. This also led to severe dehydration. Anytime she would vomit, her attackers would get angry and beat her even further. A vicious cycle that had no end in sight. When the nights got even colder, she was forced to sleep on the balcony of the home in extreme cold temperatures, sometimes near or below freezing. Eventually, one of the men that the attackers would invite over to the house to see Junko would go on to tell someone else about her, his brother. This brother of his ended up informing the police about what was going on at the Minato house. Two officers were soon dispatched to go check things out. Minato's parents came to the door. When the police explained the situation, the parents simply responded that there was no girl in the house.
And then you talking about, you don't make you no better hiding this from them. I don't give a dang what you talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let my son come to me. I don't give a dang about no mafia or nothing, bro. If I know a girl in this freaking building, bro, getting tortured like that, bro, I'm telling the cops, bro. I don't care about none of that, bro. Can't live with myself knowing that, bro. I ain't gonna cap. Freak nigga, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, I ain't finna look out for y'all. Y'all niggas lame as heck, bro. I ain't finna look out for y'all niggas. You know what I mean? I ain't finna, you know, I ain't no snitch. Nah, nigga, Jay gonna snitch today, nigga. They finna snitch for a good cause today. You know what I'm saying? I can't even feel comfortable with myself knowing that a girl not getting tortured, bro. What I'm just doing, acting like ain't no girl not getting tortured. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be labeled as a snitch. Nigga, I don't give a dang how. How you look at me? You know what I mean? Yeah, they in there, man. They in there, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a dang about no Hayaki Moshe. I don't give a dang about none of that, bro. You feel me? That's just me being me being me. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The police took it at face value, thanked them, and left.
Because for me, bro, you got the, even though you're not down there torturing them parents, bro, that girl blood on your hands too. Because at the end of the day, bro, you could have told that cop what it was. The cop could have came in there and saved that girl, bro. So the thing is, her death is on your hands too. So yeah, you wasn't physically beating her, bro, but you could have saved her life as well. So don't act like you just a good Samaritan, because you ain't.
Without ever bothering to check even a single detail.
I beat the brakes off my son. I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably kill that little. But they come to me, tell me that. They come and tell me something like this, bro. God.
After 20 days of torture, Junko was rendered completely unable to walk. She had had lighter fluid poured on her legs and set on fire, leaving her with severe burns. Her legs had also been targeted so severely during the beatings that they were left with severe muscle damage. She was unable to grip anything with her hands anymore, as they had been smashed with dumbbells to the point where her bones were crushed and her fingernails were shattered. Some nights later, the attackers got more rowdy than usual.
Oh, yeah. Know what I'm saying? That don't one of them cases, is it, y'all? God, Lee, what the freak? Set the freaking girl legs on fire, bro, all this because of a no? What the freak? Well, these some demons. Smashing the girl hand with some dumbbells? Setting the girl legs on fire, leaving the girl outside in below temperature to sleep? Bro, oh my God, all because she said no? She wasn't interested in you, bro? You get mad because of that?
Ended up drinking too much. Junko took this as a chance to try to escape. She crawled down the stairs from the bedroom and reached the phone downstairs. She picked up the phone and began to call the police. The phone rang and an officer picked up. Just as she was about to speak, Hiroshi came up behind her and grabbed the phone from her hands. He put the receiver to his ear and said, "I dialed by mistake," hanging up the phone. She was then pulled back into the bedroom. She was in complete terror, as she would obviously be severely punished for this. And she was correct. They punished her by holding her down and taunting her by waving a candle's flame all around her. Then they covered her entire body, mainly her legs, in lighter fluid and set her on fire once more. Afterwards, she started convulsing. The boys told everyone that she was faking it and set her on fire once again.
He said she was faking. What? Bro, oh my God, bro. Hang on, I'm getting pissed the freak off.
Convulsing. The boys told everyone that she was faking it and set her on fire once again,
faking
only
it?
to put it out shortly after. Somehow, she survived. From this point on, she began begging her captors to just kill her and be done with it. They wouldn't grant her that favor. After being set on fire, they discovered a new way to torture her. The boys would hold her head against the concrete while the others would jump on it. One can only imagine what kind of pain and damage this would have caused. After about 30 days, Junko was no longer able to urinate properly. She had suffered severe damage to her genitals after they had been burned with cigarette lighters. She also had various foreign objects inserted into her, many sharp and jagged. Even fireworks had been inserted into her. The fireworks were not limited to only one orifice, as they were also inserted into her anus, mouth, and ears as well. She was left with eardrum damage so severe that she was nearly deaf at this point. Her hands and feet were so damaged that she could hardly move. At best, she could crawl. It took her over an hour to crawl to the bathroom.
Firecrackers in her.
A later report showed that her brain size was greatly reduced by this point in time. Due to her hellish appearance, the boys no longer found her attractive. They used the same strategy again to abduct and gang rape another 19-year-old woman while she was on her way home from work. During these 44 days of hell, Junko Furuta was forced to withstand the most unspeakable torture and suffering that a person can imagine. Some of what was done to her includes being raped many times every single day, day and night, in all orifices. More than 100 men are believed to have raped her by the end. Sometimes she was raped by up to 12 different attackers in a single day. Constant humiliation. She was forced to be left naked most of the time. Many of the men who raped her also urinated on her. She was forced to pleasure herself in front of the attackers for their entertainment. She was beaten physically every day. She was beaten with golf clubs, iron rods, bamboo sticks, and various other objects. She had dumbbells dropped all over her body and her head stomped against the ground, face first. She had hot wax poured all over her face with a focus on her eyelids. Her eyelids were also burned with cigarettes and cigarette lighters.
And it's some messed up ish right here. I ain't gonna cap to you. That is one of the most disturbing cases I've ever in my freaking life. And it's, yep, it takes it right here. I mean, yep, that takes it. That takes it right there. That takes number one, man. That takes that. Putting firecrackers inside of her, bro. Sharp objects inside of her. Yeah, man. Yeah, this vid is definitely bad. This is bad right here. I mean, honestly, stomping on her face on concrete. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. I'm telling you. You did my daughter like this, I'm telling you, my mother, I'm telling you, that will freak. Bro, that's why I'm getting so pissed off. I'm thinking, like, what if this was my mama, bro? Like, what if this was my sister? You know what I mean? What if this was my freaking, you know what I'm saying? Like daughter, right? Like, bro, I'm murking niggas. I don't care about your Yamashonto Mafia clan, bro. All because the girl said no. Y'all believe that the devil ain't real? Y'all believe that? Ain't no human they right mind do this, and y'all believe demons ain't real?
She was violated with a long list of various objects shoved into all orifices, including but not limited to bottles, both broken and unbroken, iron bars, scissors, roasting needles, chicken skewers, and more. She was given only the strict bare minimum of food and water. At times, she was forced to eat cockroaches and drink urine.
What the?
She had fireworks put into all of her orifices, leaving damage and severe burns. She had her left nipple ripped off by a pair of pliers.
Dang!
She would be tied up flat on the floor and had dumbbells dropped all over her body. The drops on her abdomen were so hard that it caused her to lose all control of her bowels. She was hung from the ceiling and used as a punching bag. She was shoved into a freezer and kept there for hours at a time. Her eyelids were burned with hot wax and lighters when she closed her eyes in fear.
Crap.
Her breasts were stabbed with sewing needles, the
Oh.
needles often being left inside.
Freak!
Her genitals were burned with cigarettes and lighters.
This is crazy.
She had a hot, lit light bulb inserted into her vagina and moved around until it shattered.
This is next level-ish.
By the end, she looked like a completely different person after all of the damage.
Next level, yo.
It was hard to even make out her facial features.
Yeah, no kids need to be watching
Her
this.
body was severely damaged and crippled, and she smelled as if she were already rotting. She was continuously heavily bleeding from her genitals from all of the abuse. She wheezed heavily, struggling to breathe from all of the blood accumulated in her sinuses. On day 40, January 1st, Junko woke up to New Year's Day alone. She spent the day begging to be killed, completely unable to move. 3 days later, on the fateful day of the 4th of January, the boys challenged Junko to a game of Mahjong Solitaire and forced her to play. Somehow, even in her condition, she won the game. This infuriated her captors, who treated her to a severe beating with an iron barbell, and then poured lighter fluid all over her arms, her legs, her stomach, and finally her face, dumping lighter fluid even into her eyes. Then they put a candle to her face, igniting it all. She weakly attempted to put out the flames, but didn't have the strength to do so. This final torture lasted for a grueling 2 hours altogether. Already having been in a horrible condition, Junko went into shock and finally died the following day.
Wow, that was crazy.
Minato's brother called him within 24 hours to inform him that Junko had died. The boys all rushed over to the house in a panic, fearing what would certainly be a life sentence or even a death sentence. The boys started to freak out, but they came up with a plan. The captors then put her body into a 55-gallon oil drum and filled it to the brim with concrete. A small bit of Junko's long hair was poking out the top of the concrete.
That's her? That's her for real?
Something they apparently didn't notice. They disposed of the barrel at a construction site in Koto, Tokyo. Seeing that place now, you'd never imagine something like this was buried there. There was originally a good chance that the police would never find out who did this. There weren't any clues to go on. Luckily, Hiroshi is a moron. While he was being questioned by the police 2 weeks later involving their recent gang rape of the unrelated 19-year-old woman, he got confused and thought the police were talking about Junko, as the cases were so similar. And thinking that one of the other boys must have already confessed, he spilled the beans. He realized his mistake, but it was already too late,
and
he told the police where they had hid the body.
Nigga said realize his mistake. Bro, that right there ain't a mistake. That's not a mistake right there, bro. You did that girl in a mistake? The freak, nigga? They get in trouble in school. That's a mistake, nigga. You did this to the girl for 40 days. Oh, that mistake junk. That junk go out the window, my boy.
Body. Joe Ogura had already been arrested for another unrelated sexual assault case.
He didn't go around
he
just
was
doing this
quickly
to
also
different women,
arrested
bro.
for Junko's case as well. The other boys were then arrested within the next few days. Later, the drum was finally opened and the concrete was broke open, revealing Junko's long-deceased body in a nightmare-inducing, horrific condition.
They put her in concrete. She's in concrete, bro. So they put her in concrete. She's in concrete, bro. After doing all that, they buried her in concrete. The
drum was finally opened and the concrete was broke open, revealing Junko's long-deceased body.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All because she said no.
A nightmare-inducing, horrific condition. Junko's family was notified and told of what happened to her in detail. When her mother heard the details of what was done to her, she fainted. She ended up in a long-term stay in a psychiatric hospital. An autopsy was performed on Junko, revealing the true horror of what had happened to her. Small bottles were found still stuck in her rectal cavity, and it was revealed that she was pregnant, although the damage to her uterus was severe. Her face was so completely mutilated that she had to be identified by her fingerprints. Being that they were juveniles, the court withheld the names of the
Give a damn about no juveniles, nigga. They said some juveniles, nigga. I'm finna say, boy, hey, bro, they don't care about no juveniles, nigga. Don't care about that, bro. I know at the age of
they were juveniles.
12, what I was doing right or wrong. Nah, you 18,
the court
18,
the names of the four captors.
17, boy, get the freak out of the world. Juvenile.
Shukan
16
magazine were able to find out exactly who they were and publish the names of all of them.
Bro, you gotta find them other niggas too, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. He said 100 of them, bro. You gotta find it's niggas out here that's walking, bro, that was in with that jump too, bro.
Stating that they were inhuman and therefore didn't deserve human rights. Nobody really contested this. As we know, they were Hiroshi Miyano, 18 at the time, Joe Ogura, also 18 at the time, Nobuharu Minato, who was 16 at the time, and Yasushi Watanabe, who was 17. All four of these monsters were caught and sent to trial. During each trial, it was pretty common for onlookers to pass out upon hearing the details of the case. Even with all that they had done, they didn't really show any semblance of remorse. And despite all of this, they received extremely light sentences for such horrific crimes. They were actually still being tried as juveniles, but after much backlash, they were changed to adult status. Still, after being upgraded to adult status, they received unbelievably light sentences. Something that, to this day, continues to enrage people who hear about this case. The boys, somehow, were not charged with murder. Instead, they received a charge called causing bodily injury resulting in death. In Japan, the juvenile court system is far more focused on rehabilitation rather than punishment. Something that you'll remember if you saw my Yukio Yamaji video.
Nigga killed his mom free again in 3 years, bro. If you was in the United States, boy, you buried under the jail, bro.
Something that you'll remember if you saw my
buried under the jail
video.
But you did this in the USA, bro.
Usually this means that juveniles will end up getting relatively very low sentences.
You think about you being no juveniles here?
Sentenced to 20 years in prison.
20?
Minato got a 5 to 7 year sentence himself.
What?
Watanabe got 9 years, and Joe got an 8-year sentence. One sad thing is that these monsters actually received even lower sentences than that at first. They were only increased to the still low amount after an appeal. It was so low that some people even questioned if their Yakuza ties were to blame for this.
Bro, it had to be.
By the time of this recording, every single one of the 4 boys is out of jail and living free. 3 of them were in jail for less than 8 years. Hiroshi, the ringleader, was sentenced to 17 years originally. He tried to appeal, but as kind of a fuck you, the judge actually upped his case to 20 years. The same thing happened to 2 of the other boys, and after seeing enough, the 4th boy decided not to try to appeal. However, they all ended up getting out long before those sentences were actually up. And I bet you're wondering if they continued to commit crimes after they got out of jail.
Wow.
Well,
you niggas out right now. They out right now. They walking around right
after
now.
After Nobuhara Minato got out of jail.
These niggas walking around right now. They out right freaking now, y'all. Right now.
His first name to Shinji. He did this for obvious reasons. In 2006, he got married to a woman from Romania and had a daughter together. They soon divorced, and the wife ended up with custody of the child. Minato couldn't stay away from murder for too long. He was eventually arrested again for the attempted murder of a businessman. The man had noticed Minato staring at him, to which he asked, "What are you looking at?" Minato came over and punched the man. The man then got out of his car and a fight ensued. It escalated to the point that Minato took out a baton and beat him severely. As the victim tried to get back into his car, Minato slashed his neck with a knife he had hidden. The police were called at some point and they rushed to aid the victim. In the chaos, Minato escaped. He was soon caught and arrested. He denied attempted murder, saying he only intended to beat the man. The case is ongoing. Joe Ogura was released in August of 1999. He also ended up changing his name to Joe Kamisaku. He actually had the gall to brag about his role in the kidnap and torture.
Bragged about it. Nigga, bragged about it. Got out. Oh, God, that's crazy.
His father had vowed to give their entire life savings to Junko's family out of shame. But Joe ended up taking this money and using it for himself to live a fairly extravagant lifestyle. Joe's mother wasn't much better, as she actually vandalized Junko's grave, saying that it was Junko who ruined her son's life.
What? Did you vandalize her grave? Somebody, it was... What? Bro. Hey, man, bro.
Extravagant lifestyle. Joe's mother wasn't much better,
folks
as
be
she
sick.
actually...
They'll be trying to tell, but humans is sick in the brain. They weird, bro. Humans weird. That's delusional, bro. That's what I be saying. Delusional, weird, bro. Humans is weird, bro. I'm telling you, it's more weird. It's more weird people out here, bro, than right-minded people, bro. You start like actually like talking to people and being around people, bro. You see how weird people is, bro. People is weird. People is strange. Bro. I'm telling you, sit back and just watch, bro. I'm telling you, there's a lot of folks that's walking around here, bro. That's why I be saying with mental illness, bro. These niggas is ill in the brain. Mental ill, bro. That don't even be funny.
He vandalized Junko's grave, saying that it was Junko who ruined her son's
Sick
life.
in the head, gang.
Joe actually managed to find some women to date him. He ended up marrying a Chinese woman, but the marriage didn't last too long. Afterwards, he started dating another woman. He went back to prison in July 2004 for 7 years for beating a guy he thought was luring his girlfriend away from him. He had kidnapped and beaten the man for 4 hours. He proudly told the victim that he had killed before and would do it again. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison. But in 2009, he was once again free, and he is still free to this day. The ringleader, Hiroshi Miyano, went right back into his previous gang activity immediately after being released from prison. He was arrested for fraud at some point after this, but didn't see jail time for it. Right now,
what's going on in Japan? Whenever this junk at, bro, what's going on over there, bro? You know, they need to change that justice system over there. That junk is crazy. That junk is whack, G. Ain't change that junk. I ain't gonna cap, but
fraud at some point after this, but didn't see jail time for it. Right now, it seems that he's living a fairly normal life. Some might even say a good life. He is a regular patron at a local kickboxing gym and appears to have a normal social life. As of now, Yasushi Watanabe is the only one of the 4 boys who hasn't been arrested since. Because of that, it's not really known what he's been up to. Since the investigation first started, the police have been able to get DNA from the sperm and pubic hairs found in evidence to link several more criminals to the crime, including 2 men named Koichi Ihara and Tetsuo Nakamura, both of whom were arrested, and there are probably many others who have not been revealed to the public. It is unknown if they will all face any sort of charges. Time will tell. So there it is, the worst case I've ever heard of. I get this question a lot, and it's just always this one. There are a couple of others that come kinda close, but it's really hard to top something like this. I mean, you've got the brutality, the length, the scale. I mean, just... So asking if you like this video seems a little bit fucked up, so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It helps me out, although I doubt this video is going to really be pushed, but if you like dark content like this, be sure to subscribe. I do a lot of it. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, I do have a Patreon page that's linked in the description.
Yeah, man, I don't care about y'all liking this video. I'm gonna keep it, bro. That was some messed up bitch. The dude was right in the chat, man. I reacted to a lot of cases, bro. A lot of gruesome-ish, bro. This was #1 by far. By far, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy that these dudes are still walking around to this day. So, as we speak, they're alive as of right now.